Hello, I'm Dr. Laura Hanson, owner and founder of Original Development and Therapy Center located in Dunwoody, Georgia. This is part of an ongoing video series. I'm reaching out to the community to introduce an alternative approach in working with children with neurobehavioral challenges. We also work with adults who want to improve their health, or maybe you are a couple that would like to plan to have a baby. There's many different services available at Original Development. Please take the time to look at us on the website, originaldevelopment.org, so that you can get further details about our services. Today I would like to give you some personal background to me. I am a chiropractor, and a lot of times as soon as you tell people that you're a chiropractor, the first thing that you hear is, "But I don't have back pain. That's not what I have." Let's just try to understand, what is chiropractic? Unfortunately, people get a thought process just because where we work happens to be on the back side of you. Now that's for the majority of techniques. There's many techniques that are available to a chiropractor, but traditional chiropractic, you would find yourself laying face down on a table and the person would be checking you out to determine where they would want to make a chiropractic adjustment. I've been a chiropractor now for 17 years. And when I first started out, I was a traditional chiropractor. People would come into my office and I would make an adjustment. I started to notice children that they're very different compared to the adult population. What I found with the adults is I had to make so many more recommendations for them in order to continue to help them improve their overall health. So it started to bring the nutrition concept into the practice. It started to bring exercise as a component of the practice and to try to educate the adult population. We are a body that requires help, kind of like the help that you do for your car. You can't ignore the oil light on your car, so you have to get oil, and hopefully you're changing your oil once in a while, and you have to do other things on a regular basis in order to keep your car tuned up. So that's some of the language that you often hear in a chiropractor's office is we are literally working on your body from a very mechanical point of view in order to improve how the brain and spinal cord and nerves are communicating. From there, though, my life started to take many different directions. One of the first things that I realized was that I wanted more education in the area of children. We don't get much education in pediatrics with the traditional curriculum, and I wanted to really change that. So I went through the organization, it's called the International Chiropractic Association. This is actually one of our boards. They have a pediatric council. And I enrolled into that program, and after 3 years, I earned a diplomate status in pediatrics and pregnancy. We had to give a case presentation, and on that particular event, I was actually asked if I would consider teaching in that program. I was asked to teach neurology, and boy, neurology is not just a very simple subject, and I wanted to do my best. And so in order for me to be an excellent teacher, I wanted more education. So then I found another program through the Institute of Neurophysiological Psychiatry out of Chester, England. The way you could Google it is just put in INPP, and I wanted to learn about neurology from the pediatric developmental perspective. This was an amazing program and absolutely changed my entire direction in practice. Once I earned that credential, I began to look at children from a completely different perspective and started to offer in my office developmental care. I'm looking at a child from the time they're born until whatever age that they are from when they walk into the practice or of course brought in by their parents. There are certain sequential events that are supposed to occur in order to ensure that the brain, spinal cord, nerves, and the communication and circuitries of those systems are actually going to work like a concert. One day I had a very interesting event. I was adjusting a child, and I was adjusting their neck, and they began to cry. I knew the adjustment hadn't hurt them because it is a very delicate procedure. When you adjust an adult and adjust a child, they're two completely different approaches. And when I was working with this child, I noticed that she startled. And from the program through INPP, I had learned that that was the response that you would actually see when a child's primitive reflex wasn't integrated as expected. So really what the child was going through was either some sensitivities to the touch or to the sound, which alerted me to take a step back and really investigate the auditory processing and the sensitivity factors of the tactile system. All of these pieces of my journey have absolutely brought me to where I am today, where chiropractic is absolutely used in our office. But it's not in that traditional sense where that's the only thing that a person is going to receive when they come in here. No, in fact, the journey has brought me to a completely different level. The neurofeedback approach is more the way that I integrate chiropractic into the list of services. For the children that really thrive on that pressure, really like to feel the touches, chiropractic is a perfect sequence of events, the traditional chiropractic adjustment. For the other children who the noise of a chiropractic adjustment doesn't meet their system, like I said when we first got started, there's many different approaches. We are able to do craniosacral approaches, soft tissue approaches, working with the body in a very mechanical way to improve the structural component of the overall human physiology changes that I am trying to put into that system. One of the other things that chiropractic is actually used in this office is for a concept called hemisphericity. What this means is you have two hemispheres. If they're not working in perfect timing, one has a tendency to be more ramped up than the other. So for example, if the right side is downregulated and the left side is overcharged, this is a child that's actually, or even an adult, let's not limit it to children right now, but this is a person that's actually overengaged in their emotions. The right side of your brain is your emotional quotient and the left side of your brain is your intellectual quotient. Now, when I say downregulated, you might think, well, that sounds kind of backwards, but no. We all get bombarded with an enormous amount of emotional data every single day. If that right side is up as it is intended, then you're able to navigate yourself and say, well, that doesn't really need for me to pay that much attention to. The ones that get pulled into their emotions cannot make sense of the emotion, they cannot stop it, and therefore it takes over. So in that particular situation, if that person is going to receive a chiropractic adjustment on that particular day, then I'm able to adjust on the left side of the body to bring up the right side of the body because it's a cross-lateral relationship. So there's many tools around the chiropractic adjustment. It's not a given that that's the only service that you're going to receive. My educational background is what allows me to offer you the amazing services that we have available at Original Development and Therapy Center. If you ever have a question regarding chiropractic and what are you doing with kids that are neurologically challenged, please visit the website, go to the Contact Us tab, write your question. It will come directly to me and I will respond personally to you. Thanks for tuning in.